I will call the May 12th, 2025 meeting of the Newtown Township Board of Supervisors to order. I will note that the board did meet in executive session this evening where we discussed zoning cases related to 7 Campus Boulevard, 3400 Westchester Pike, 3314 St. David's Road, 327 Stony Knoll Lane. We also discussed litigation matters related to an enforcement issue regarding erosion and sediment control violations, one zoning enforcement issue, as well as a personnel matter for advertising a personnel backfill. With that being said, Mr. Nease, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Altieri.
Here.
Ms. Roberts Lightcap.
Here.
Ms. Chandless.
Here.
Mr. Russo.
Here.
Mr. San Francisco.
Here.
Your engineer, manager, and solicitor are here.
Thank you very much. We'll now move down to the moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess for tonight's moment of silence, we'll think of all the moms since yesterday was Mother's Day. So happy belated Mother's Day to Supervisor Chandless, Supervisor Roberts Lightcap, and Ms. Stevens. And we'll just think of all the sacrifices that our mothers have done for us. And we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, section 5, can I get a 5.1? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion was made by Supervisor Roberts Lightcap, seconded by Supervisor Chandless. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Section 6, public comment for agenda items only. If there's any members of the audience who wish to provide any public comment for an agenda item, please go up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Let the record reflect that there is no public comment. Section 7, minutes, 7.1. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the April 28, 2025 meeting? So actually, I should have jumped that. Excuse me. We have just one correction in here. So I will just note that under 14.1, the vote 5-0, it should be 4-0 with one abstention because I had to recuse myself. It's noted at the top, Desiree, but just the vote is not accurate on that. So I actually will supervise who made that? Supervisor Supervisor San Francisco. Do you want to accept that as amended?
I do.
And it was seconded by Supervisor Chandless. You're fine. Any other board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Just to keep the flow going, we're going to jump down to section 13. Tom, tell me when you're ready. So I will note that it is 7:05 on Monday, May 12th, and we are opening up the public hearing, reopening up the public hearing for 13.1, the historic property approval as a Class 2 historic resource, which was continued from the April 28, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting related to the properties at 405 College Avenue, 307 Earls Lane, 3406 Goshen Road, 234 Hickory Lane, and 401 North Newtown Street Road. Solicitor Sikora.
Yes, so, thank you. So the hearing was commenced at the last meeting. We had the proof of publication. What we didn't have because of different ways that files were being stored, proof that the properties were posted or that the mailings happened according to our code. So the presentation happened, you heard all the evidence. You opened it up for public comment. We did confirm that each property was posted April 17th, 2025, and we have the proof of mailing as well. So for each one of the properties, so we'll make the proof of posting collectively, Township 2, make proof of mailing collectively for each property, Township 3. With that, you can call for any more public comments since we continued the hearing and then vote.
Thank you very much, Solicitor Sikora. Is there any public comment related to section 13.1, the public hearing on these properties? Let the record reflect that there is no public hearing. No public comment, excuse me. And we will now move down to section 14.1, and I will turn it over to Supervisor Roberts Lightcap.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Township of Newtown, Delaware County, Pennsylvania ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance pursuant to Article 6, right? Of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, amending the Newtown Township official zoning map to add 405 College Avenue, 307 Earls Lane, 3406 Goshen Road, and 234 Hickory Lane, and 401 North Newtown Street Road to the Historic Resource Overlay District zoning map as Class 2 Historic Resource. Proposed map amendment. The Board of Supervisors of Township Newtown,
You don't even have to read the rest of it.
okay,
That's
all, what you just enacted,
just, you could just say,
enacted and ordained
No, you
this
could-
12th,
yeah,
12th day of May 2025, and that's my
it
motion.
would
Okay.
actually now be, May.
That's it.
Oh,
May
today,
12th.
yeah, today's the 12th.
May 12th, yeah.
And then
I
we say
mean-
12th day of May,
Okay.
2025?
Sorry.
Enacted and ordained this 12th day of May 2025. And that's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Roberts Lycap, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we'll move to section 8, and I will note that the hearing has concluded at 7:09. She was on the phone. Everybody was,
Okay.
I left for 14 Phillips Lane.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I left for 14 Phillips Lane. Yeah, no, because,
I'm sorry.
yep, not a problem.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, section 8, resolutions of recognition. 8.1, can I get a motion approving resolution, 2025-16 National Public Works Week, and I'll turn over to Supervisor Chanlis.
All right, resolution number 2025-15, People Purpose Presence National Public Works Week, May 18th through 24th, 2025. Whereas the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025 will be observed as National Public Works Week with the theme People Purpose Presence. You really give me one to read here. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector. And whereas we acknowledge public works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to the health, safety, and well-being of the people of Newtown Township, and urge all citizens to pay tribute to our public works professionals and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protect our health, safety, and quality of life. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and the children in Newtown Township to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore be it resolved that Newtown Township Board of Supervisors hereby joins the nation in honoring and celebrating the achievements of the Public Works Departments during National Public Works Week held May 18th through 24th, 2025. And this is my motion.
Motion is made by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Roberts Lycap. Any other board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, section 9, presentations, 9.1. Eagle Scout presentation by Avery Tyrrell.
Hello. Okay, well, hello, thank you for having me tonight. Should I wait for my presentation to load? Or do you think it's okay?
No, we'll get it up. Hold on.
Okay.
While we go through the technical details, I will note for those who care, Avery's grandfather was a supervisor here in Newtown Township. He was the chair too, wasn't he, Preston? How long was he supervisor for?
It was on and then it was off and then it was on
So you just missed out on having all the fun. You wanted to come back? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Tom. Avery, where do you go to school?
I go to Radnor High School.
All right, what year?
I'm a junior.
Nice. How's Radnor doing?
I like it. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
You play any sports?
yeah, I play lacrosse.
Nice.
So,
What position?
I'm the goalie.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not missing a practice for tonight, are you?
No, I already had practice, so
All right.
I just showered and came here.
Well, I have two sons that are Eagle Scouts from 284.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
John is now 27 and Will is 21.
Okay.
So they've gone through the whole 284 troop.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, no, I really like 284. So I think I might know Will. Actually.
Probably Will was still there when the switch was made.
Yeah.
When you all joined.
Yeah.
When it was open to whatever the scouting, when the scouting was opened. So it was great.
Yeah.
It's a nice, he got his Eagle Scout. When, George, do you remember? I don't even remember. 3 years ago. Of course, you
Okay.
wait until I have to give you credit, and I have to give credit to all the Eagle Scout candidates that come in their junior year as opposed to their senior year and finish their projects like 2 days before they turn 18. So
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you. I know plenty of people, like plenty of my like adult advisors within scouting. They're like, yeah, I was at my 18th birthday party, then went to my Eagle Border review, and I was just like,
Yeah.
that's very stressful.
Oh, yeah, that's what I had.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said it?
And the ones who don't submit are the
Oh, here
engineers.
we go.
All right, Avery.
I made it through first class, so there you go.
We're talking about Avery now, all right? All right. No more engineering jokes. All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So my project is titled The Ruins Restoration, and it will be benefiting the Newtown Square Historical Society at the Paper Mill House. I like click some.
They'll scroll
Okay.
through.
Perfect, thank you. So what the problem we are trying to solve is people come to the paper mill house when it's open and they're looking for the paper mill. Like they'll walk up to the main house and they'll confuse the museum with the mill, which causes the volunteers to have to direct them to an area that's often hard to find and unmarked. So why my project is needed is it will make the area more traversable and it will provide like a historical information like right there, which is good because it's like right in front of you. So it's like right there. So like that's what I meant by like an immersive historical information experience. Some additional goals of the project, it was brought to our attention that along the creek that runs through there, people like to fish and bird watch. So the addition of benches will enhance the spot and make it more like habitable for people to fish and relax and such. So we will also be adding signs. I will touch on this more on my next slide, but we will be adding signs about fish and wildlife. So a quick project overview is the first phase of the project is we are going to reestablish the trail that runs along the creek along with the one that leads to the ruins. But we're going to use wood chips and we hope to prevent erosion specifically along the creek and growth of like grass and plants that would cause the area to be overgrown, so that these trails can remain distinct. Our second goal is to add informational signs that will provide an individualized look into the history of the different mills that were down there and about the fish and wildlife that are native to the area. So people like specifically about the wildlife and all, like specifically about like the plants and everything, that like they know like what not to rip up in their garden. And finally, we'll be adding Leopold benches to add seating to the space. And Leopold benches are specifically used by fishermen and bird watchers because they have a wide base. I have photos on my next slide, which allows them to be stable on uneven ground. So like the wood chips. So that's an example of what the interpretive signs may look like. We plan to put in 6 signs. A couple about the history, and then a couple about the wildlife. I believe it is 6. We're kind of still deciding. And then that's an example of a Leopold bench. So as you can see with the wide base, if we were to put it on the wood chips or kind of like a sloped ground, it would remain stable, so it's not a hazard to the people who use it. So that is my presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board?
When do you think you're gonna start your project?
We plan to start, we've already started some planning phases, like we've already started making the benches and such. So, and we put the wood chips down, so we've already kind of started, but yeah.
Okay, just let us know, because we like to come and help, right, Chairman? We like to come out and help the scouts.
Chairman like
so-
to supervise.
Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
supervisor. He's a good chairman supervisor, but no, seriously. Yeah, yeah. No, we do. We like to come out and help the scouts.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Any other questions from the board?
No. Great project.
Yeah, it really is.
Good luck with it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Good
that.
luck with everything.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, guys.
All right, now we'll move down to section 10 reports, 10.1 report from the township engineer, Mr. Johnson.
Good evening. The main agenda item I'm working on is actually later on is the roads program award. So I didn't really have any other updates for tonight.
Eric, how are we progressing with the stormwater project in Upper St. Albans?
So the vast majority of the work at that point is done. All of the stormwater pipe is in, all the inlets are set. So we are now in the process of working out reinstallation of curb and then restoration of the road. The homeowner that which we put the pipe up through his yard, he was exceedingly happy with how the project turned out. And so far, we went through rain, everything seems to be
I was
working.
about to say, so I'm guessing it's pretty much fully functioning. It's just cosmetic stuff that we're working on.
Correct,
right
the
now.
pipe is in, the stormwater is all in, so it is just site restoration at this
So do they
point.
see any difference with the rain that we had over over last week?
I was not able to talk to that homeowner, but everything installed and it all panned out as we
Perfect.
anticipated.
All right, awesome.
I will make note,
Yeah.
we probably are going to be coming back to you with a project for the pipe that goes from his backyard up to Horton for lining that pipe. During the installation, they determined that there might be some leakage, and so we want to get that pipe lined. And so we'll
In the
be,
existing pipe. That,
it's an existing
Yeah.
pipe.
Okay.
Yep. So just so you know, we'll probably be doing that. Eric's team is working on getting us some bids that we can
Mhm.
use, and then make sure that they're what we want done. My understanding is through co-stars, so we should be able to be back to you hopefully at the next meeting and be able to present that.
awesome. Perfect. Any questions for the township engineer? 10.2 report from the township manager, Mr. Nease.
Yes, I also would like to, we have two projects. I think I mentioned one to you before, but I just want to make sure I follow up on it. On Ivy and Oak, I think I'm saying that right. Is that right? Oak, just off of Goshen. Oak Hill, I'm leaving out the hill. Yeah, that's in the back. Oak Hill, there's actually a sewer pipe that's become exposed. We think that's because of some stormwater issues. So I'm asking Eric to work with Dave Porter to figure out a solution to make sure that that doesn't keep happening. If we fix the exposure of the pipe, we want to make sure that this water that's coming through doesn't keep doing it. We also have an issue at 122 and 124 Beechwood, where the water's coming out of a existing pipe running across the folks' yard and then into Greer Park. So we met with them and we've come up with a plan that we can get done, but I'm going to be engaging Eric's team to do the design and come back with you for a project at that location. I just wanted you to be aware of that and make sure that you understand we're going to be spending some engineering dollars trying to get both of those projects done.
Any questions for the township manager? All right, perfect. 11.1 bills. I've reviewed the bills and I'll make a motion to approve the bills on check register. I'm guessing that should be A, dated May 12, 2025, totaling $242,122.99.
Second.
Motion was made by the chair, seconded by Supervisor San Francisco. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Section 12, new business 12.1. Can I get a motion accepting the lowest responsible bid for the 2025 road program from Allen Myers LP in the amount of $419,978, $419,978.80. The following streets are included in Newtown Township's road program: Earls Lane, Sugar Maple Drive, Aspen Drive, and the segment of Sawmill Road from the bottom of the hill after Timber Lane until the border with Radnor Township. This acceptance is contingent on Springfield Township and Swarthmore Borough, who are part of the larger bid package, also agreeing to their individual bid results.
So moved.
Motion was made by Supervisor San Francisco, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? Eric, you guys aren't expecting to have any issues with Springfield and Swarthmore, are you?
No, we've been running a joint program. It's usually been Swarthmore, Springfield, Marple for the last 15 years. And
Okay.
versus Swarthmore awards tonight, Springfield tomorrow.
Awesome. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. 12.2, can I get a motion accepting the resignation of Heather Hastings effective May 30th, 2025?
So moved.
Motion is made by Supervisor Roberts Lycap, seconded by Supervisor Chanlis. Is there any board discussion? Just want to say thank you to Heather for her years of service to Newtown Township. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. 12.3, can I get a motion approving the advertising for the codes administrative support position?
Second.
Motion was made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Roberts Lycap. Is there any board discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. 12.4, can I get a motion approving the advertising for a part-time AV employee for the Township Board and Committee meetings? Motion was made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor San Francisco. While I think this one is pretty self-explanatory like the other ones, I don't know if you just want to add anything.
Yeah, just so everybody knows that we had three high school students that have been doing a great job of doing all of our meetings. You probably have met several of them here. The two ladies that we've had are both graduating, and we're very excited for them, and they're going off to college, but they didn't want to drive back every week or fly back every week or to do this. So I understood that. So they've actually stopped starting the beginning of May, and because they're getting ready for graduation. And so Tim is picking up some. We're using our staff from upstairs to help us, and Mara's here tonight doing that, but we're just to kind of cover until we can get somebody who's doing that. So that's the purpose.
Awesome. 12.4, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. 12.5, can I get a motion approving the potential hire of 2 interns for the summer?
So moved.
Motion is made by Supervisor Roberts Lycap, seconded by Supervisor Chandler. Is there any board discussion?
If I
Yep.
could, I think it's important just that the board be aware.
You're the next person, Stephen, for me.
Huh?
You were the next person for me. to
Oh, okay, I'm
pivot that
sorry.
over to.
So just so everybody's kind of aware, my intent is to use some savings from our finance position. That the position we didn't fill right yet, we're backfilled with some help from from a third party. So we have some savings there. We're going to use some of that savings to help fund these 2 interns. One of the 2 interns will be working directly in finance and is a Villanova student that Tom has been talking to. So we'll work through that, make sure he's ready to go and get him help. And I'm actually going to probably spend a lot of the time doing the training so that Tom can really stay focused on what he's doing. But we'll take projects for Tom and get those done. And then the second student is a graduate this fall or this spring from Malvern Prep. And he's very interested. He's a resident here in the town over in the, Springton Point Estates area. And he is interested in local government. And so we're going to bring him in, and he's going to actually probably do some filling in the evenings, doing some of the recordings, but he's also going to get some experience in the office and learning some of the things that we do. So when he goes off to college, hopefully he'll make a decision to continue to the idea of public service in that way.
Any other questions for the Township Manager? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All right, 12.6. Can I get a motion authorizing the township manager to execute a donation agreement regarding the donation of a scoreboard at Gable Field, subject to review and approval of final language by the township solicitor? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Supervisor Chandler, seconded by Supervisor Roberts Lycap. We'll now move to board discussion. I'll turn it over to our solicitor.
So the township has been approached by some very generous donors regarding a scoreboard that they want to put on the newly renovated Gable Field, which right behind the township, the multi-use field. It has baseball, soccer, lacrosse, smaller baseball, different softball, removable mounds, and the donors want to put the name of the field, Gable Field, have it acknowledged it's home of the Angels, the Challenger division of our local Little League, and to have some other ability to have other teams put their names on there for different events. And so what we did is said, okay, well, we're happy to take a donation, but we got to make sure that everybody's rights and responsibilities and expectations are set forth in an agreement. So we have an agreement drafted up that the parties who are making the donation can look at and give me feedback, and we can work through that. But I don't think there's anything that's particularly difficult to work through.
All right, great.
And then as long as we get that signed and it complies with the agreement, which is going to look a certain way, it's going to have certain words on it. And, once that's done, we would accept donation of it.
Perfect. Any other questions from the board? You want to say anything?
No, I just, thank you for, listening to me real fast. I appreciate it. I thought I would have had a bigger crowd here, but,
They knew you were coming.
yeah, that's what it is. A lot of you know me. My name is Darren Grande. I've been the president of Newtown Edgemont Little League for about 14 years. I've recently stepped down as the president, but I still coach the 12-year-old district team and the 11-year-old team. Alan Donato is Matt Strom's agent, and Connor Norby and Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles. So Alan runs the Challenger Adult League on Sundays. So he has kindly put together the donations to come up for the scoreboard. And what I'm here to ask you is if we could have you guys vote on the scoreboard saying Gable Park, home of the Angels. And I think it's a little bit more than just home of the Angels. I think it'd be nice for the boys to show up on Sundays to feel as though that's their home field. That's all if you have any questions, I sent out a scoreboard rendering. And then underneath, we would have the ability to put any other Marple Newtown Soccer Association, NSBL, any of those, and it would be removable. I've spoken to every one of those presidents involved, and every one of them, other than Delaware County Christian School, said that they would have no problem with it saying home of the Angels. That's what we're asking for, is the approval for it to say home of the Angels, and then we'll work directly with Rich for the wording and get this underway.
All right. Anything else from the board? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We've already done 13. We've already done 14. We'll now move down to the board comment, section 15. The only thing I'll mention with board comment is that the farmer's market is going to be on Friday, got washed out. So they moved that to this Friday. So that'll be from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock over at the St. Albans Circle. And then on Sunday is going to be Circle at Sundown. That is being hosted by the Business Association in conjunction with the township. So I know that Sheila Turner Hilliard has been working extremely hard. It's going to be a great event. We'll now move down to section 16, public comment. There's nobody here. There's no public comment, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.